So many buttons to click. All right. It. Right. Gotcha. Minus two. Let's see. All right. Yeah, me talking and typing at the same time, not the best idea. Not necessarily good at it.
No, no, no!
Replying to some people. We'll see. Anybody bothers to step in here, then great. Until that happens, I'm just going to play by myself, not with myself. That would be wrong. I did some research about best streaming practices before I decided to get on and do this, even with just me here. And oh my God, some of the stuff that I found, very funny and embarrassing. So, anyways, let's see. I'm gonna see if I can do this while I'm streaming. I'm sure it's not the most conducive to something that is considered to be time effective, but I was just upstairs. What happened today? It's Sunday. I know I want to try to stream on Sundays because it seems like a slot that hasn't been flooded. And maybe the reason why is because most people who are done doing their thing for the week and their thing for the early morning. I know that Shane Davis gets that early morning crowd in, and I love it because I get off work when it about an hour and a half into the next day, and that's when he starts going strong. And then I'll come home, make something to eat, have something to drink, and well, now your liver is about as lubricated as Shane's is if it's a night where he's enjoying some libations. So it's just odd to me. You can get in tune with how thin someone's blood is. I'm going to import these. And the only reason I'm importing these two photos is so that I can explain to anybody who isn't following the Twitter thread. What is going on this November 29th? We're almost at the end of November, and I'm not ready to, although I have been told that I will be, I'm not ready to adjust the deck for the application window. Yeah, I'm not ready to adjust the deck, which means I don't believe this is going to go anywhere. It's going to get covered. Hopefully that will be okay. If not, it's going to go into the garage for the winter. Because I'm not opposed to grilling when it's snowing. Anybody wants to help me out with that, that's fine. Let me know what you think. Pretty decent grill cover, but if I want to grill in January, I'm gonna grill in January. That's just how it's done. And this is what happened today. I don't get a lot of time to spend with my wife because our schedules are very different. She gets home from work at a time right when I'm about to leave for work. So we spend about 10 minutes through the week together, and then we have the weekends. And you'd be surprised at the amount of stuff that you can fit into a relationship over a weekend. And I'm not talking about just the good stuff. Sometimes it's Sometimes it's all of it. It's all the good stuff and it's all the bad stuff, and it's all at once. And you try to do it all at the same time. Get the shopping done, get this done, get that done. Because while you're communicating over text, it's not very effective. But one of these days that'll end, and who knows? Maybe it will be the indie comic. Yeah, maybe it will be the indie comic movement that gets me out of this loop. I am not asking to be taken out of the 9 to 5, or as I like to call it, the 5 to 1:30. To be taken. Sorry about that. I was watching myself on the on the other screen. So yeah, I'm not asking to be taken out of it before my time, and who knows, maybe someday I'll be retiring from it. Right now, what I'm trying to do is to move away from the the custom paint aspect of my other life. That is, outside of the 8 hours, what do I do with the rest of my time? Well, I paint. I do a lot of pinstriping. I do a lot of custom paint. Things usually tend to slow down around this time of the year because people aren't riding. There's no events to go to. They're putting their bikes away, and they're also waiting until springtime when the weather gets nice, and then that's when everybody will get a hold of me when it makes no sense. So, right, okay. Anyways, hopefully some people will come in here and I'll have someone to talk to, because I do much better when it's not just me. So anyways, there is a project that has been in the back of my mind for years and years, and the entire time that I've been pursuing this career in in custom paint, I've always wanted to do this one book and tell this story, and it's evolved. Excuse me, and it's evolved over time because of the life that you live and the experiences that you gain. And it was a couple of years ago where I had this idea. I don't want to use the word epiphany too much because then it just gets diluted. But I remember talking to a guy who is, I'm going to see if I can, and I'm sure there's people out there that have acquaintances like this. They're friends with a friend of one of your wife's friends. So it's like if it was family, it would be like third cousin twice removed, but they're your age. Anyways, this guy happens to be he's a Leo in Pittsburgh, but he also belongs to a car club that I would see at one of my dealership events whenever I go out to do pinstriping and custom paint. And for the uninitiated, I'll give you an idea of what I'm talking about, and being that it is the season, I will do pinstriping on Christmas bulbs. So I've actually got a box. I had a bunch of these ended up getting sold this morning. I had a customer. I have a customer that reaches out to me every year because he loves these things. Flat black Christmas bulbs. And then just on one side, because you can only ever really see one side, we do some pinstripe artwork. And he wanted to see some, and this is kind of a cool effect too here. You can see the glossy black and the flat black. Let's see what the camera does. Yeah, glossy. Yeah, it's struggling. The camera doesn't know what to do. Doesn't know what to do. Okay, glossy black on the flat black. So he came out and grabbed some of these things. It's a bunch of different colors. But that's my deal right now. I also produce some tools for the pinstriping community. I produce a tool for It's like a measuring tool. It helps keep your design symmetrical from left to right. And okay, stuff keeps popping up on my screen. I'm like a dog. I'm like my dog. I'm easily distracted, so forgive me. So let's see. I'm going to check here and make sure that I sent this link out to all the right people. I mean, to all the people that I intended to. Right. Okay. Anyways, yeah, I threw this out to as many people as I could, and I understand that this might not be the best time to do this, but it's the time that I've got. I'm in a unique situation this particular weekend where I've got tomorrow off as well, so I might try to do something like this tomorrow, maybe like around dinner time or something like that. I've got some relatives that have come home that I haven't seen in a while. So I'm going to make sure that I go out there and see them. It's, all these things, there's work. And then when you get home, there's the stuff that you got to do at home and the relationships that you have to maintain there while you're trying to coordinate and do as much of, your passion as possible. And it's not the easiest thing in the world, but I do find that what's been happening lately with me is, and I can only consider it to be like just a natural progression of things. I am interested, and I do listen to as much of the Comicsgate streaming as I can because I do want to be kept abreast of what's going on. But at the same time, it's not the kind of, I don't know, I can listen to it and work because I always want to participate. So the next logical step to me seemed to be, getting on StreamYard, doing your own stream and trying to make something organic. And see if I can pull this trick off while I'm talking and, really put myself out there. Anyways, so I like to express myself more often than I'd like to admit, which I'm doing it here now anyway, so who cares? I like to express myself through the films that I've seen, and I think a lot of people do that. When you get into those conversations, like, have you seen this movie? Or, and really what they're saying is, which, yes, you like the movie, but there's going to be something in the movie that spoke to that person that they agreed with. Like, yes, I do believe in that philosophy, or yes, that is going to be handy in the future, or that was a really, it was like a really cool line that was in just the right place that really spoke to me at the time that I saw this. And it's something, and a lot of times when you consider that there is a production staff, a director, writer, actor, lighting, studio lighting, best boys and gaffers and all that crap, just to put one scene together where somebody delivers a line. I do not believe that it's possible for me to come up with a line like that and have it have the same kind of impact as it would if I had a director, a producer, a writer, and all these people behind it. A whole list of credits of people helping me. But this stuff is right. It's just on. It's on my mind. So I'm going to see exactly. I'm going to see. So what happened is this: a little small stories. I got rid of Netflix because I wanted to get rid of Netflix because I didn't want to support a company who throws down as much. Seriously says, nope, I can't get it. Okay, so all right, it's not going to happen. No big deal. I'm just going to erase that whole conversation. So who cares? All right. Well, I've got kids in the house and I've got kids out of the house. And they would all use the Netflix password, and then I just decided I'm putting my foot down as a father who tries to be and claims to be Christian but doesn't throw it in people's faces. I don't want to have that stuff in the house, so I got rid of the password. I got rid of the account. What are you doing? You making noise on purpose? Anyways. Oh, okay, I got it after all. So what happened was I got rid of it, and I actually, well, for what I'm hearing is that I didn't consider anyone else's feelings, but I did consider everyone else's soul. I'm sending a message. If anybody else wants Netflix in their house, that's fine. They can pay for it. I pay for all the other ones, and I'm not keeping score, but that's just how it is. If you want to put your money towards that, that's fine. I'm not going to. It's maybe it's a little maybe it's a drop in the bucket to Netflix, but it's the whole bucket to me. I don't need that stuff. I don't need that stuff to be promoted, especially considering the subject matter of the comic book that I plan on writing. But I don't plan on writing. I plan on producing with a writer. I started it and I know that I can't do it, so I reached out for help, and I feel like I got some, and I hope that that's the case. It's a traditional. I think this is going to become a tradition too. Everybody here on their live stream just to watch me comb up my beard. Because I play with it here more than I play with it anywhere else. It really helps me think about the next thing that I'm going to say. So I'm going to get some Cremo in here and get it nice and smooth. It'll smell good. It'll feel good. It'll help me think. So I got rid of Netflix. And then my wife decided to get Netflix herself. It's like, if you want it, there's nothing. I'm not going to stop somebody else from getting it. I'm not what would you call it? I am a benevolent dictator. So that's what happened. But then the play as well, since I was some sort of an asshole for getting rid of Netflix, I don't deserve to have the password for the Netflix that it exists in the house already. And I don't really want it, except for one thing. There's one line, and you know what is probably going to happen in the future, where I find that there's more than one line in a movie. In fact, I'm going off on a tangent, and here we go. So I'm going to sign in here real quick, and hopefully I can remember all this. I'm going through a lot of trouble for this one thing when all I really need to do is just say it. Once I sign in, I should be good. Okay. Block. Stop.
Hello, Bakers.
Stop.
Welcome to the 10.
Same old bake off.
Too much
Familiar.
noise. I don't want to play
Comforting.
that. Okay, I just want to get to this point where I could pause. Back to browse.
Hello, Bakers.
Now,
welcome to the 10.
Same old bake off.
This is
Home. Okay, God. This is the stuff that's it's basically it's what they like to watch, and that's fine. But I'm trying to find. I don't even know if I will be able to find it, but I'd say that for later. Okay. Wow, noise everywhere. Now they got the Daredevil series on there, and that's really nice. And that's basically what it what it comes from. And I've seen the whole thing, but I'm never going to be able to remember the name of the episode unless it was actually in part of the title. But I remember seeing Wilson Fisk's, the guy that played Herc in The Wire plays Wilson Fisk's dad. And the one thing that he keeps saying through the one episode is you got to put yourself out there. Am I going to have to close that door? Just checking. You got to put yourself out there. So you put yourself out there. And also, I mean, it is, one of the best places to market your stuff. Most of the people that I work with in the custom paint industry are marketing themselves over Facebook and doing Facebook Lives while they're, painting and things like that. And that's great. I've got cameras to do that with, but it's not the thing that I've wanted to do since the time I was a kid. It's fun. It makes a lot of money. And I go over this in like an earlier stream where there's no resale potential on anything that you do. You paint it once, you sell it once, and then that's it. There is no, I drew this work and then I can sell it 1,000 times. And I think, or more. And it was Mike LaValle, who was the guy that created the real fire technique. If anybody that's watched the Discovery Channel and seen, well, not just him, but a lot of painters do it now. They do a real fire texture on motorcycles and choppers, and I mean choppers like helicopters, and on cars, and it looks like real fire. And this is the guy that created that technique, and he went from that to selling DVDs on how to do it. And in his philosophy was, and I think that it carries over to comic books and any published media, is it's easier to sell 100 things for $1 than it is to sell one thing for $100. And I believe that that's true. And so that's what I'm going for. And one of the other reasons why is because I can do this from here. I've gotten more artwork worked out just by sitting on the couch upstairs with my sketch pad or my iPad than I have with any other medium over the last couple of weeks. And a lot of the reason why is because, when you're dealing with a physical, paintbrush and pinstripe, your paint has to be the right texture. I got a rogue hair hanging out of his beard. It's got to be the right texture. I can put down a pencil or a pen and go off and do anything else. If I put down a paintbrush that has enamel in it and I have to go and take care of something for 15 minutes, when I come back, that brush is ruined unless I sit there and rinse it out and leave it in the rinse can with the chemicals in there, and then go off and take care of whatever the thing is I need to do, and then come back, and then is my paint dried? Is everything, once you start, you want to keep doing it and you don't want to stop. And I'm not saying like, you want to be interrupted with your concentration in any other medium. You don't, but it's a lot easier. A pencil is not going to dry out. An iPad is not going to dry out. I can take that stuff with me wherever I go. If I want to take my stuff to go do pinstriping or custom paint at a shop, I have to open the tailgate of my truck and put the entire art kit in there, which one of these days, whenever I've got it in here, I'll show it to you. But there's wheels on it. It's like a glorified radio flyer wagon. And it's heavy and it's got a lot of good stuff in there. But if I want to just like sit down and get an idea out of my head, I don't want to have to like open the kit, wet the brush, get the chemicals out, make sure that no one's bothering me before I sit down and put the brush to the surface and all that stuff. I'd rather just open the iPad, open the program, and start drawing it and get it done and start working right away. So I've got something. Let's see if it's up here. Is it? No, that's Photoshop. Although, open recent. I'll just give you an example. This is some work that I was working on. Man, is my computer slow? And the scan got blurry out near the edge because the sketchbook has rings in it. Good Lord. All right. Let's see. Where am I at? Share screen. Application window. There. Okay. Now this is the one sketch I did last night. I think I scanned it in gray, but this is a blue pencil with gray pencil over it. And I'm just trying to get a classic pose figured out. And I'm basically just doing some figure studies because I might be putting figures that are in my comic book in this position earlier or later on. Things like this. Drawing, and it occurs to me that drawing one character is one thing, just drawing a character and drawing a figure in space. But as soon as you have to get the two of them, I recognize this in my own head. Getting the two of them to interact in a pose like this, I think Ethan Van Sciver talks about the acting that you have to get your characters to do. I don't want this to look fake, and I'm not even sure that I've got these faces right. This guy here looks like he's actually blowing air into her face. That doesn't look like a kiss. The rest of the body looks okay. It looks like their center of gravity is okay to me. It doesn't look like one is holding the other one up. But also, just for a common... Yeah. One of the... Get full screen here. Hello, it's me. There. Just for a context, the image there is... Oops, sorry, guys. It's about 4 or 5 fingers tall. I was trying to do something with... I wanted to see what I could do with a smaller size figure. And normally I'm used to drawing in a size like this. And I have that up there too. So most of what these are is I'm testing myself. And the only reason I scan them in and I put them in a sketchbook file. Something to save for later, just save it because it was done. But a lot of this isn't just penciling practice, it's inking practice. I want to find out how fast I am. I think I started her and did her pencils last night after I finished inking this guy, which I penciled after I penciled and inked these two people. So it's basically, I'm not going to say 3 nights because that's going to make it sound like an 8-hour night, and it's not. But over the course of a couple of hours, sitting in front of the TV, letting something. Usually, what happens is I'll put on something that I've seen before, so that I don't have to pay attention to it. The movie will be up there on the screen, but it'll also be in my head because I'm familiar with it. And I might just look up at some favorite scenes and leave it at that. But I'm trying to get to. Sorry. Smack the microphone again. I'm gonna do this here. Hopefully, I want to make sure that I'm doing this right. This is one reason I'm copying and tweeting this link again. Hashtag Mike. All right. Anyways, that's about as succinct as I can get it. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I'll probably go to like 10 o'clock before I call it. All right. Okay. Make sure I got the stuff done. All right. Let's see what's going on with video. All right. You know what? No, I'm not going to. I don't think I'm going to bring that up right now, just because I want to make sure things are solidified before I start claiming that I've got some sort of a plan for sure. I want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. But yeah, you know what? It's kind of funny. All right. Okay, so it goes like this. I got in contact. I contacted a couple of writers, but I got a response from one. And I'll tell you what, if anybody's been watching Jimmy's channel on his open mic and I happen to hop in there, you guys will all know who it is. But for the sake of, I'm just going to play it cool. I am excited. And I like the interaction that we've had so far. So I feel like it's a pretty good working relationship. But I don't want to call it a working relationship right now because it's not totally up to me. But I have recognized that in my excitement, I've been checking my email more often than usual. And as I said before, you know, when you get into movies and you find that, you know, being able to express yourself through movies is a lot more efficient, especially if the other person is seeing the movie, because now you're communicating on a multitude of levels. So when I say, you know, I got in contact with a writer, I sent him my material, I sent him my idea, and this is what goes on in my head while I'm waiting for my writer to get back to me. It really helps if he's seen the movie. Actually, if he has seen the movie, it might not help, but I'm just going to go ahead with it. I hope that's not too loud.
青山です。
はい、よかった。もう電話がないのかと思いました。
Yeah, funny, maybe. Who knows? We'll find out. And one of the main reasons why I even bothered putting that together was because I want to be able to get some practice in Premiere. If I'm going to bother paying for it every month, I'm going to want to learn how to use it. And any of the costs that I can get away I mean, there are aspects to marketing and creating a comic book that I can absorb. There's going to be the things that you want to pay for, and there's going to be the things that you want to do for yourself. And some of the things I want to do for myself are going to be the software packages that I actually have on my computer. And if I get the time to put them together, then okay. So that video had more a lot more to do with it. Had to do with two things. I need the practice, and I think this is funny. Now I don't know that it's funny. It was funny to me because it's me laughing at myself. So there it is. All right. So anything else? Let's see. Yeah, I've been trying to get in some decent news here. Let's see if there's anything fun in comic news right now. Yeah, David Prowse passed away, 85. That sucks. And it's like one of those actors that you always knew the name from the time that you were a kid. At least I did, because my older sister told me, this is the guy who plays this. This is the guy who plays that. This is the guy who plays this, whose face you can never see. Yeah, that's that one hurts, and I especially like the geez, now the name is going to totally escape me. I mean, I put it up on my Twitter, so we'll see if I can find. And next time I'll open Twitter in a new tab. Maybe I should do that. Crying out loud. You know what? And as soon as it comes to me, is there like a really cool illustration of all the stormtroopers? And as soon as I see the name, I'm gonna be like, oh my god, I can't believe I didn't see that. I didn't catch on that. I like it's not one of those names that's supposed to just like go right over your go right past you. Alex Ross. Alec. I knew it started with an A. I knew it started with an A and had two syllables. Alex. Yeah, I love this. Come on. I love this image right here. That's awesome. And what a great, what a great tribute. All the different styles. We got the speeder bike stormtroopers, TIE fighter stormtroopers. And I don't believe he got into any of the stormtroopers from. Yeah, it doesn't look like any of the stormtroopers that are in here are in any of the sequels. So that's good. Yeah, that sucks. All right, let's see. I hear beeping going off, so I gotta check stuff. Yeah, okay. All right. Well, that's something. Oh, geez. The Flash pauses production due to positive COVID-19 test. I am so sick of this thing. Who got it? Who on this crew got COVID-19 to the extent where? Because if I come down with COVID-19, and I say this tongue in cheek, but always a bridesmaid, never a bride. Not through this entire, I don't even want to call it a plague because I think it's giving it too much credit. Through this entire semi-nonfiction thing that came to us from China, there's other people around me that are getting sick and getting over it, but they're also getting days off from work. Imagine, and I'm not saying that I can't use the paycheck, I could, but imagine all of the stuff that I could get done if I was just here with COVID. I honestly think that I could sit down on the couch, wrapped up in a couple of blankets, trying to get over an illness, and still draw for a little bit. Who was it? Oh, Feedley's giving me crap. Air Wars Winter premiere, blah, blah, blah. He is pausing. Speedster. Who is it? Infected individual is a team member on the set who was asymptomatic. as confirmed by, well, all right, so that tells me, and I'm no doctor, but it tells me that they halted production due to a false positive. Batman, Catwoman, #1 by Tom King. It's a bleeding cool review. Not going to go there. Bungie confirms 2 Destiny 2 Guardian. Oh my. It makes one wonder why you want to actually pay attention to the news. Okay. All right. After a lot of suspicion and hints, Bungie has confirmed that 2 Guardians in Destiny 2 are in fact gay and in love. The topic has surprisingly been around for a while among fans, as there was much discussion as to whether or not Saint and Osiris actually were gay or were just portrayed as such. Why does this matter to anybody who just wants to play a good video game? Why does that matter at all? If I was to join the army or some other branch of the military, not now, of course, I'm pretty sure that the only thing that that branch of the military would care about is whether I could kill the enemy. Dare I say, the place that I work now, I don't think they care where I stick my junk. That's not something that they want to think about or care about or whatever. All they care about is, am I getting what I'm supposed to do done in the amount of time allotted to me to do it? Yes or no. If I am, then great. If I'm not, then that's a problem. Everything else about my preferences or whatever shouldn't mean anything to anybody. What difference does that make to whether the game is good to play or not? Is it part of some super awesome soap opera story? Does it affect the playability of the game? That just the headline alone is mind numbing. It doesn't even matter what it is. It's just make sure that this thing is more important than the thing. Make sure that this thing that you didn't spend your money on is more important than the part that you did spend your money on. Crying out loud. All right, so I'm done with that. Yeah, all these are other their reviews. I'm just going through some Feedly stuff here. Marvel Studios honors Chadwick Boseman on Disney. Great, do it. You know, I mean, that guy was all about his work. I remember being very surprised when I found out why he passed away. I think a lot of people were, because he kept that stuff to himself, which is his decision. I know some people who are and one person in particular who is suffering from a debilitating illness, who wants everyone to know because he wants everybody to pray for him. And in fact, and in that spirit, I'll just say it. We had found out a couple of weeks ago that the offensive lineman for the Steelers and an announcer for the Steelers, Tunchilkin, is dealing with ALS. And when the subject came up, it was a church-wide affair, and it went out on video. A lot of the people around me, and especially in our local region, found out about it because he wanted people to know, because he knows he's going to need strength to deal with this thing, and he wants people to pray for him, which is great. And that's how he wanted to handle it. Chadwick Boseman handled this how he wanted to handle it. And as a consequence, I was totally taken aback when I found out the news. He didn't use it as some sort of leverage for anything. It was just his fight, and that was that. And I totally dig that about him. Okay, and then the Amber Heard thing. How, you know what? This is one of those situations where, and you tell me that I'm wrong. Okay, you can tell me that I'm wrong. I don't know if I'll believe you, but anybody, when I say the name Bill Clinton What's the very next name you think of? I'm going to leave that open. And you be honest with yourself. When I say Bill Clinton, what is the very next name that you think of? It's definitely going to be in the top 3. Okay. From this point forward, when anybody hears the name Amber Heard, what are they going to think about? Are they going to think about all the movies that she was in? Or are they going to think about, you know, the cleanliness of her bedclothes? Iron Man borrows a joke. Wonder Woman, how futures end. Wow. Okay. This is interesting to me because I really dug this show. And one of the reasons why I dug this show is because I wonder if I can do this. I think other people do it. Application window, Feedly, share. Okay. Okay. This guy, Mads Mikkelsen, I think he's I think he's a great actor. I liked him in cool, we got somebody. What's up, baby? What's happening?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me? If you can't hear me, then nobody can hear me. So tell me right now if you can hear me, because I can hear you.
Oh, okay, yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh man, how bad is it?
It was a little bad. Like it was a little bad at first, just because like it started sounding like static, and then like every word was just kind of like.
That's got to be my computer catching up to 2020. It's probably what it is. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. How's your day going?
It's okay. You know, I did a lot of shopping today, which, don't tell anyone I told you this, is a lot of standing around and waiting for nothing to get bought.
It sounds about like Black Friday sales and everything going on.
Yeah, no, I was spending some quality time with my wife. So, you know, we went out to a couple of places. We went out to 4 places and we got 2 things in one of the places. Everything else was me watching and offering advice that I knew no one was going to take, but I only put it out there because somebody, my wife, asked me what I thought. And I said, yes, you should get that, you know, because I want her to have things. So this is good. I'm glad you showed up. I really appreciate it. I had somebody show up last week, and I got a homework assignment. My homework assignment is, it works like this. I'm just going to refer to you as BoogieBot because I'm terrible with names. If you want to tell me what your name is, I will make my best effort to remember the actual name. But you are be one step closer to being doxxed.
BoogieBot works for me.
BoogieBot works for you. All right. So let's see. Where am I going? My campaigns, my contributions. Yeah, this is all very. I don't want to keep saying it's very new to me. I've put stuff out and just like ended up talking to myself for a while, but tangents upon tangents upon tangents. We're going to look at where's my search? All right. We're back in the campaign tonight. Would you like to and in fact, I'm going to share the screen, stop screen. I'm going to share this other screen. Brave tab. There we go.
So if you don't mind me asking, who did you have on last week?
That would have been Tim Olson.
Huh.
He was working with a. Let me get rid of this. All right, let me go find the book. Give me. I want to make sure I get the name right.
Oh, it's Robert. It's just Robert. It should be the only robot under the search for Indiegogo.
There it is. Bang. All right. I want to make sure I get this up front. Okay. I have some people following me on Twitter. I don't claim to be, and I don't even know if I want to be the most popular guy on there because it's an empty pursuit. You know, the things that you want usually end up swallowing you whole. I believe there's a couple of fables out there that illustrate that. But I do. I just want to have a good time and learn some stuff and meet some cool people and be an uplifting part of the community where there's a lot of beneficial, a mutual benefit.
Oh yeah, and definitely with like a lot of these independent creators, I think most of them, just from me being around a lot of these other creators, it just seems like they all just want to create a good product, at least just for just for people to read and just something that they really believe in. So
Yeah.
More often than not, I just end up meeting and talking to like just really good people in general. Even if it's not really to sell a product or a book or anything, it's just again just very creative people and just not necessarily like-minded, because a lot of them, like, everybody has their own opinions and everybody has their own rights to everything.
Oh, sure.
Like everybody has their own rights to that. So it's always nice whenever people can kind of just conjugate and just talk like human beings really on there.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Everybody has their own path. It's just it's a lot more fun when they cross more often than they don't.
Mm-hmm.
So I know a little bit about this. Sorry, I want to make sure I get this big. I'm going to pause it first and then wind it back. Stop. All right.
Yeah, the violin.
I paused it and told it to go back, and then it just automatically played on me. Okay, so can you tell me a little bit about the book itself?
Yeah, most certainly. So the book, it takes place roughly 100 years after the events of Y3K. All of Earth's technology is completely fried. All of the humans have just completely gone in bunkers. And Y3K happens in the year 3000. And during that time, most of the labor force is been predominantly forced on to robots.
Yes.
So robots are like they're basically the working class. They're like warehouse workers. They're like Uber drivers. They basically do all the manual labor that humans don't want to do. And there's a lot less humans in the year 3000 in that time period. But this massive solar flare happens and just fries all of Earth's technology. All the humans go in bunkers or they go into hiding. For the ones that are still left, they emerge after Y3K, and miraculously, the robots reboot. But the twist in this is that the robots they reboot without their initial purpose. So now they have to kind of create a purpose and personality for themselves.
Right. There's no humans around when they reboot to tell them what they're for.
Exactly. The only thing that's around them is like books, TV shows or movies, comic books even. So a lot of them gain their personality and sort of like derive some character off of the same works of fiction or things that we watch ourselves that we kind of gain a personality off of.
Yeah. I mean, I've said it before in the past. Aren't we all just an amalgam of all the music, movies, and people we've run into? Like, isn't our personality a record of where we've been, what we've heard, and what we've read, and incorporated it into our own act?
Yeah, kind of like in our own everyday lives, because like, and a lot of like kids, usually like in middle school or high school, everybody goes through fads or people get really into like a specific movie or even a celebrity. People want to act and look the part. So for a lot of these robots, for a good chunk of them in the story, they kind of derive a lot of their personality off of famous, celebrities or characters based in movies. And that's where some of our main characters actually kind of gain some of their personality off of like actually existing people. Right.
I know that. I wonder. Well, I don't want to get too far into the story. Sometimes asking questions. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want you to have to reveal something that you don't plan on revealing, because I'm just, if I'm like, oh yeah, well, what about this aspect of the book? Well, have you considered this, that, and the other thing? And before you know it, I'm like, I'm like peeking through the wrapping paper.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
they
because
call- yeah.
sometimes it's kind of hard to to kind of like step back and kind of like not unveil new pages, because some new pages that I've been working on kind of unveil a little bit of like the story or just events that happen in there that I don't want necessarily people to kind of like get into yet, because when they read the story about maybe 20 pages in, something might happen to somebody and I can't show a page of that character, because otherwise somebody who is probably wanting to not be spoiled is now spoiled, to kind of like show off new artwork. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like not a game, but it's kind of hard to just show new pages, because I want to always consistently show people the new artwork that I'm working on, but also make sure that it doesn't spoil any story for those who are genuinely excited for the book.
Right. And you're doing the art?
Yep. So I'm writing the story all on my own, as well as I'm doing the pencils, the inks, colors, and then I'll be doing the letters on this book as well.
That's nuts. Well, I'm trying to get the I'm going all over the place. I'm trying to get the link for this on Twitter. I'm still trying to sell the stream, and I want to make sure that I can type and talk at the same time.
Oh, and this is going on YouTube too, as well, right?
Yeah, it is. But I know that a lot of I know that a lot of Comicscape people are communicating over Twitter most of all. So
Okay, yeah, because I just wanted to link this to my girlfriend, actually, because she always enjoys me coming on these streams and kind of like talk about the work in the book.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, do you want to share so she can come in and join, or do you want the regular YouTube just watch and listen?
Oh, just to watch and listen, just because she usually likes to hear the story and everything.
Oh yeah, okay, good. Oh, that's very cool that she's into it so much. All right, share, copy, and this is. I think I'm in the private chat right now. I don't think there is a chat. So if you, can you see what's going on over there?
I think so. I
don't know what this looks like from your end.
Yeah, because I saw the link on was it on your Twitter page, actually?
Right. Okay, so all right, I also posted that in Twitter. I posted the Indiegogo and I posted the YouTube. Just watch and hang out. I'm actually watching it too. Yeah, it's showing up in the chat. Okay, man, it's a lot to keep a mind on. I can't believe that there's people that do this drunk. And I mean, I've had like maybe I've actually been enjoying in the interest of what would you call it? In the interest of the election, I've been enjoying a rum called Kraken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's okay. It's pretty good. It's for the price, it's a very nice 93 proof spice rum, and I'm actually at the very tail end of this glass, and that's also the end of the bottle, which I did not start 3 hours ago. It's been going on for a while. So,
I'm actually not that into alcohol. The only because I'm actually 23, and one of the only alcohols that I've actually liked was a friend of mine's. He actually brought me, I think, Angry Orchard apple cider.
Yeah. Oh man, that stuff. I remember the first time I had that stuff. It's good.
But I was actually going to ask if you're because I guess you're drinking rum, but do you have any suggestions on like a sweet sort of rum? Because I know some rum is typically like sweet that you would be able to mix with like a rum and Coke and something like that.
Yeah, honestly, well, any spiced rum should have a kind of a sweetness to it. I really like this stuff, and the bottle is cool too. I can't bring it down here. I don't know if I show it to you, then YouTube might have a
flag it or something.
Yeah, but it's got a big squid on there, and it's around the neck of the bottle. It's got two glass. It's sculpted like this, so you can throw your pinky through it. or your finger through it, like a finger hold.
Yeah.
I like that stuff. It has what's called good legs, so that if you're drinking it neat without ice, or if you're drinking it on the rocks and you go to swirl it around, you can actually see the alcohol, or you can see the rum sort of drip down the side of the glass, the way raindrops go down your windshield, but they're smooth, and so you can. Sorry about that. You can see the alcohol just drip down the side of the glass like this. That's called good legs.
Oh, okay. I actually never knew that.
Yeah, I didn't either until like a couple of weeks ago. Somebody with more class than me had to tell me it. tell me that. But yeah, it's good. It's one of my the same guy. He got us an ice cube tray that makes pool ball sized ice spheres. I mean, they're like a pool ball.
Oh yeah,
And,
I had one of those too, but it was like they only let you make like 2 at a time, so like you have to kind of
really?
like fill it up. Yeah,
Really?
like I always liked using those because like I'm a big fan of Coke, and I usually like it for me it like since I'm not really big into alcohol, I usually tend to always still get like a whiskey glass anyways,
Yes.
and always just put like the ball of ice basically in the in the cup along with the Coke.
Right, and that's the beauty of it. I mean, this is the only glass, and I actually had to go out and get this glass because it's the only glass in the house that would fit that ice ball in it.
Uh-huh.
So you actually only put maybe a finger and a half of rum in, and by the time you put the ice cube in, it's up to here. Volume displacement. So, and then over time it melts, so that you're not just like throwing back straight rum. You swirl it around and mix it around and dilute a little bit, and it's I tell you what, it's nice when you've been awake for 14 hours and
And you have a nice
you've been
little hit
working,
of
and
it.
yeah. But so all right, I'm sorry, I really have to get back to this. This is your pencil and pen ink.
Mhm.
And colors.
And then I'll be posting some. I actually have some pages already lettered because I kind of work back to back on doing the colors. I usually like to have a handful of black and white pages done, so that way I can color them all at the same time. So that way they're not, just so that way they're not like one of the pages. Yeah, just so that way it's a little bit more consistent for them.
Right. I know. I remember commenting on this before on Jimmy Ray's stream, how much I really, really like that the dystopian future is dark, but the colors are bright. You know what I mean? Like they're and I don't want to keep going off on it, but they're happy.
Yeah, like I always like those sort of like bright colors because like especially in a lot of sort of dystopian, sort of post-apocalyptic movies and TV shows, everything is always usually gray. But for the robots in here specifically, most of them are going to have some sort of like gray tones or brown because they're rusting. But I like the purples and sort of like yellow hues that I'm blanking on his name, but the person who did the colors for The Killing Joke, I think it was
All right,
John Hughes or.
You are
John
not
Hughes.
talking to a scholar. I'll tell you that much right now. In
But
fact, there's a couple in the interest of actually knowing what I'm talking about at times, but I don't want to like talk about it while I'm trying to do it. There are some comic websites that I found. When you ask yourself the question, who did this or who did this, there's got to be a website out there that will tell you.
Like immediately.
Yeah, and I found this like comics.org. If I want to search a colorist, and then I put in Killing Joke, I wonder what it will tell me. It's playing 0 out of 0. All right. If I put in it's comics.org. And I'll put in story title, and I'll put in Killing Joke and see what it says, because then it'll give me, what's it called, the indicia.
I want to say it was John Higgins, but I'm pretty sure it might have been John Higgins.
Okay, well, let's see what happens here. I don't know it might make my computer blow up. The Killing Joke. Action Comics 1003 Patrick Gleason cover. Killing Joke. There's a lot of Killing Jokes listed in here. That was written by Alan Davis, right? Or Alan Moore.
Moore.
Alan Davis. Oh, I was talking about him the other day. Okay, writer Alan Davis. Writer. Killing Joke. And that should narrow it down. All right. You know what? It's comics.org. You look it up.
Yeah, I just found it right now. I think it was John Higgins for the colorist.
Okay, where did you find it? Just by guessing at John Higgins?
No, I just looked up Watchmen, Alan Moore, because I think John Higgins worked with Alan Moore a lot for a lot of his colorings.
All right, so you basically went to Google, whereas I went to some outdated.org site to figure out where this was from.
I just went straight to his page, I guess, for Alan Moore on there.
Yeah, nice guess. All right, I'm never doing that again. Hey, who wants to see the stream crash and burn? Get Dave to look something up on comics.org.
Just a quick little run around.
Yeah, well, yeah. What is it? I'll have you in the green room. What are we going to talk about? I'm going to ask you a really obscure question about a colorist. Go look it up beforehand, and then you'll just have it right there, like Carson would have it right there. Or well, Jay Leno. You're 20 something. You said you're only what 23?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then you don't know what Johnny Carson is.
I actually know who Johnny Carson is, though.
Do you know what he is?
Talk show host.
Yeah. No. Okay. So let's see. Now I have this. This is me being Johnny Carson prepared up over the wall. I've got tacked to my wall over here questions, and the first one is to tell me about your start or career, because this is impressive work. You've been into this clearly for like a long time.
Yeah, so I actually started at a smaller indie publisher. We used to call it was me along with three other guys that we called ourselves Unearthly Comics.
Unearthly.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And we actually did kind of the con circuit because I'm located in Texas, and we actually went through a lot of different conventions like in Austin, Houston, and we would usually pay out of pocket to actually produce a lot of the books that we would make. And then all of the funds that we would get from the conventions that we went to for selling our books would get funneled back into the printing costs or even the booth for going to all these conventions. Mm-hmm. And I've actually been at it for about 5 to 6 years now. And Robert was actually one of the first projects that I actually did for the company as my own sort of my own IP, but under the company's name. But now since me as well as the company, we've kind of decided to kind of just lay low for a little while.
Okay.
And kind of work on our own projects and sort of regroup whenever we have something else kind of in mind. But I wanted to take Robert to kind of just try out the crowdfunding scene and actually try to produce the book as its own graphic novel. Because before I was doing floppies, sort of single issues, but I felt like I needed to retell Robert as the 60-page graphic novel, as in the completed story for it.
You're very hungry. This is really good work. And I can't help but I've got to ask, did anybody in your group work in screen printing?
We actually had one
printing
guy
in general.
Mm-hmm. We actually had one guy who works in screen printing, and he's actually a manager for a printing press company. I think I'm blanking on the name again, but he actually dealt a lot with like screen printing, and he actually handled a lot of the printing for us, because a lot of the works that we did, especially me, I used a lot of screen tones.
I was going to say, somebody knows what Zipatone is.
Yeah, so for a lot of the screen tones in here, that's the other reason why I wanted to use, because I've actually been experimenting a lot with using screen tones in my work, and I feel like for Robert, it sort of matches the sort of aesthetic for it, for it kind of more so grungy or sort of manga sort of aesthetic that a lot of like artists use for like the blacks or like for the shadows.
Well, yeah, I mean, zip-a-tone is something that's produced by a machine,
Mhm.
and this is a story about a machine. So on some level, I think those synapses are going to be connecting in your readers' heads, and they might not even know that it's happening. But um, you know, it's strange that I would say strange, but like fortuitous, because my homework assignment for last week from Tim Olson was to read Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1 because it was just not it wasn't in my wheelhouse for my age bracket when I moved out of the house.
Mhm.
Everybody was into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I have an automatic. I don't want to. Well, I'll say automatic. I have an automatic aversion towards anything that a large group of people are into.
Mhm.
You know
I
what I
usually
mean?
I usually tend to do that too, where it's like because a friend of mine he actually is really into Dragon Ball Z, and for the longest time
Yes.
I was never really into Dragon Ball Z at all, and as many times as I kind of would try to force myself to like it just because everybody else is liking it, it just never really caught my attention, or I felt like I couldn't because everybody
Yeah.
else is talking about it.
If it doesn't speak to you, it doesn't speak to you, and it's not even really your fault. It's just like not your thing.
Exactly.
I had thrown up a an image of an X-Men cover that was done by Alan Davis and Paul Neary because I remember seeing like one of the my favorite comic book runs was the first like 11 or 12 issues of Excalibur. I just
Mhm.
like being into the artwork. I loved how smooth it was, and I thought that I would do this Photoshop thing where I don't copy the work, I just copy the bones of it, or try to figure out where the bones of it are, and then maybe build back from there. And as soon as I brought it up, it was funny. Was it? It was yeah. It was Jimmy's thing. Whenever Jimmy does an open mic, I'm like I feel like I want to jump in because I'm going to learn so much stuff. Um, but I threw this thing up there and I had it in layers. And I was like, see, I'm just trying to copy the bones here. And they're like, oh my God, that Alan Davis composition is absolutely terrible. And I'm like, oh, it is? Because he's one of my favorites. It's like my, oh yeah, you're liking something on Twitter and it's coming across my iPad. I actually have this iPad right here. I don't know if you can see it. But, it's got carts on here from when I was trying to do a podcast about something that was mostly visual. Custom paint. Were you watching what I was talking about before? Or did you just jump in when you jumped in?
I think I jumped in whenever he
Okay.
jumped in.
Okay. When I did.
Yeah, when you did.
So you've been watching in the background?
Oh, from this, I actually just jumped in whenever
Okay.
nobody was in here.
Okay. No, that's fine. It's a safe space. I'm just asking for context. I was talking about my day and I was pinstriping a bunch of Christmas ornaments.
Oh, okay.
Would you like to see one?
I actually would. I actually do a lot of kind of a custom. Me and my girlfriend, we actually do a lot of like ornaments for each other for Christmas.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
we usually like to paint and like make like decorate like a lot of like things inside of them.
Inside, like you can get inside. Are you talking about the bulbs or like some other one where you can like paint on the inside and then stick them together?
Like that, like the ones that kind of crack in half, and then you can either put something inside of it, like a 3D object, or paint the insides.
Huh. I'm gonna have to look into that one. Um, oh, he's got these flat black ones. Actually, let's do this real quick. I'm not done talking about your book, but yeah, they're flat black. They come in like this, and then I put this stuff on it.
That is really clean, actually.
Yeah, and so this guy, he got them from me last year, and he's like, and he called me again. He's like, I need like, I'm not selling them for as much as I should, I think, but he's a repeat customer. I gave him to him for like $10 a piece, but he bought 12 of them. So that was actually, I was like, all right, well, I'll take the wife out for lunch. But there's like a box of these. So I mean,
I always admire guys that can actually do pinstriping for cars, because I always love. I'm not really so much like a car kind of guy, but for Robert, I've been looking at a lot of like different like trucks, like Dodge trucks, and just the
yeah,
kind of like designs that they kind of like put on them. So it's always fascinating to see like how much intricate kind of like artwork goes into the actual designs that people put on like their actual cars.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, and in the dystopian future, you're going to see a lot of we'll call them rat rods. You
Yeah,
know,
we have some punk rock bots in here too. So
yeah, no, I remember seeing that before. In fact, let me see if I can get back to that. Yeah, yeah, my Photoshop file finally opened up again. Let's see. I'm gonna. You can't add another screen with this, right? Stop screen, share screen, application, and one of these days I'm going to stop talking to myself while I do this. Yeah, okay, and it was this. I had this. What are we at? 36. I put it up all the way, and it was weird too. It didn't really offend me. I just thought it was funny. They're like, "Well, what are you working on?" I'm like, "Well, I kind of found one of my favorite artists, and I just wanted to do this. I just wanted to get the gestures started, so that I can kind of like get into their head.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then, but then like, oh my god, they're like, that's one of the most terrible compositions I've ever seen. Everything's all jumbled and whatever. And I wasn't even thinking about it. Like the last thing that occurred to me was, yeah, I'm going to be bringing up Alan Davis and Paul Neary, and in the new crowd is going to be like, oh, that's terrible. What I was looking at was like, the eyeballs of Wolverine's eyeballs are way too far apart. I've got a problem with that. But I always liked the way that he did, like they did hands and the way that they move their figures around and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, I'm just going for the bones. And it was it was just this weird thing, because what are you drawing tonight? Well, I'm working on this thing where I'm just getting gestures. And then it spun out, not really spun out, but to me it was funny. All right, share screen. I'm doing it again. I'm talking out loud. All right, I have to remember, like, one of these I'm looking at. The other one I'm actually, okay. The other one I'm backing. So now I have to pick a perk. We're going to do this while you're watching, so I want it to be as uncomfortable as possible.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Okay, Robert, black and white. So the whole book is black and white?
Yeah, so we're doing two versions of the book. Both are still 60 pages, and you're getting the same content as the colored version. The only difference is that it's going to be the line art, the line art sort of edition of it. And then the regular graphic novel is the all colored version. But there's actually we have two other perks. There's one called the double barrel perk, which is
that's the one I'm looking at right here.
And that one, I noticed a lot of people, usually for a lot of like Kickstarters and Indiegogos, they usually put like a 2-pack for people overseas. Like it makes it a little bit cheaper for just for shipping costs and everything.
No, yeah, no doubt. I totally dig that. You have to be as efficient as possible, and this is, I don't know, is this your first rodeo?
So this is my first campaign rodeo, but it's not my first rodeo for actually printing comics, as well as like going to conventions and actually like selling a comic.
Well, yeah, you've been in the industry on some level.
Yeah, so I've kind of like seen the rounds a bit of, but I've been around a lot of people who have crowdfunded books before, and I felt like this was the next step that I should have been that I should take to actually bring Robert out for people.
I think I think he's really cool. And do you remember how many different iterations of Robert you went through? Like, has he changed from his original design to now? And if he has, do you have any of that artwork in any of these books?
Oh yeah, for sure. So for sure, at the end of this book, I'm hoping to have like a gallery section, and I'm hoping to have like a gallery section actually put in there, like like the behind the scenes or like developmental artwork
Right. Yeah.
from some of the characters, because actually in the featured perk for that one, the reason why it's the price that it is because if people are getting the featured perk, you're getting the colored version of the book, the black and white edition, but then you're also getting the original, like a reissue of issue 1, all the way back from 2014, and that one specifically has some of the earliest iterations.
I'm sorry, is that the Gears and Cogs featured right here?
Yeah, and that one actually has the original issue 1 that I put back in that I put out back in 2014. And the reason why that one's special is just because that one was the first I get like full length comic book that I actually published under Unearthly Comics. But I do have a lot of actual images and like thumbnails and pictures that I actually drew back when I was in middle school. Because I actually came up with the idea very early on. Is just I never really had a platform or anywhere to kind of put out this story until back when I joined Unearthly Comics, and then now where I've kind of developed the characters and kind of like the looks on how I wanted them to actually like really be.
It sounded like you just stopped talking. Was that a period?
Yeah, that was a period. Sorry.
No, you're. I'm sorry. Your inflection was a little weird. Was a little weird just there. I was waiting for something there at the end.
No, I apologize.
No, it's.
I thought it was
okay.
a good. I thought it was a good note to end on that.
Yeah,
on
you're
that
like,
sentence.
I'm gonna stop right there. I mean, if I'm listening, I'm listening while you're talking. In fact, I'm gonna do this here. What does it say? It's 8 out of 50 claimed.
Yeah, it's 8 out of 50 claims. So far, I can't do the math on that, but a lot of people have actually been really enjoying that
changed.
perk.
Something changed.
So 9 out of 50.
9 out of 50.
I appreciate that.
Oh, I didn't say it was me.
Oh.
I'm just. I mean, I know that nobody else is watching. Well, although I've got 3 people here. It's me, it's you, and who else? Somebody else is in here. Unless they're just considering my extra window a third watcher.
Possibly.
You think? Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't see anybody else in here. Okay, well there it is. If I lose my my other window, then okay, I understand. There 3 people are in the video. 3 entities. All right. Well, again, I'm not going to claim that it was me because that would be, what's the word I'm looking for? And that would be prideful. I don't want to do that. But I am willing to whore myself out a little bit just to get more people in this chat. Come on in the chat. I might back another book. You never know. I mean, I think if this really is the way that the comics industry is going, Oh, it's my brother. All right. Okay, cool. We got. All right. Yeah. Jeff, meet BoogieBot, and Gabby Ibarra. Hey yo. All right. We got
That would be my girlfriend there.
Really? Because I was just about to say that's the kind of thing that your drunk uncle says while he's trying to play volleyball.
Heyo.
Heyo. Yeah. Ed McMahon. Heyo. You are correct, sir. Yeah. All right. So we've got nothing but family in here. Everybody meet everybody. How you doing?
All right. Everybody shake hands.
Yeah. Everybody, let's go around a room. Tell us your name and what do you do? No, but I look seriously. I'm impressed. Now, is with your artwork, what you're doing. You're working with the halftones and not just dots, but also lines. Where is this one down here? I saw you're in the cape. Right there on his cape. I can see it. Now, back in the day when I was working at my at the screen print shop, they had this stuff on like sticky back paper. I am assuming that this is digital.
Yeah. So for all the interiors, they're actually digital. However, For all the covers that I'm doing for the book, the cover is actually completely done 100% on bristle board with actual ink. So the cover as well as the interior covers, because I'm putting chapter breaks in the book as well, and those covers are all going to be actually 100% on paper.
Okay. So where are we? Are we going to see the physical version of this? Are you going to cut Zip-A-Tone out and stick it on there? Or are you going to stick with pen and ink and leave it as just your natural ability here?
For the interiors, they'll be digital, but for the actual covers and everything, those will actually have like the actual like cutouts for the Zip-A-Tone.
Oh wow, yeah. Okay, so you're going hardcore. You're going to lay it down and stick it on there. Wow, that's impressive. Yeah, and I don't want to sound too boomery by saying this, but I mean that's not the kind of technology that I would expect 23, right?
Yeah,
a 23-year-old to appreciate.
No, I actually really enjoy a lot of that work.
Compliments to your parents on, getting you to at least appreciate that there is such a thing as a past to appreciate.
Because
I know you can do this stuff in Illustrator and Photoshop. You can just kind of like snip it out with the pen tool or with the lasso tool and say make this pattern.
Oh yeah, and then it does help for like for the interiors, but again, like you don't get some of that raw sort of like line work, or at least like just the actual lay down as you would for the covers, So that's why like for a lot of that artwork, because I still wanted it to have some sort of like traditional aspect to the book, and I feel like with the covers, because I'm very inspired by I think his name is Drew Stroughton. He did a lot of those posters for like Star Wars, Indiana Jones.
Cruising.
Yeah, like Struzan. He did a lot of those sort of like Prismacolor poster, like oil paints. He did like all sorts of like mixed mediums for those posters to make them as good as they were.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he's a personal hero, that guy.
So I just love seeing like that kind of like movie aesthetic sort of like for posters, especially like for covers. And I wanted to kind of have a little bit of that sort of tone, at least for Robert, for the covers.
I love this this panel right here where I'm assuming, I don't know if you can see it, like is my mouse circling this thing or not, where right under his work lamp behind his back is a whole chest.
Yeah, it's the chest of Robert.
Big massive gears. like no, you're only allowed to imagine what those gears are going to do. We don't know, but we can assume there's a lot of power behind them, because you don't make gears that big unless you plan on like running a car with them.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, it's this it seems like there's a lot of work involved. So much in the color and Robert the Bot Out of Time. And you're using Anna. I love this. Is one of my favorite fonts.
I just love that font just because for me at least it kind of gives it that sort of like steampunk sort of
right.
Like it kind of, for me at least, it kind of goes into that sort of like steampunk, or even what's the word, like I guess stitch punk, because I was a big fan of like of 9.
I don't want to call it like deco, but it's kind of that, isn't it?
Yeah, like in the Art Deco style. That's why I like the old like sort of like old timey like movie reels where they had like the lines against like the edges of the screen, like for the title cards.
It pushes that noir aspect that you're that film noir, right? Like I mean Charles is a little Bogardian, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I dig it. At the bottom of the time. Eastwood. What kind of a name is that?
I still remember that scene in because I actually rewatched the Back to the Future movies just when Marty was in the I think in the bar scene where they started making fun of his shoes, like Nikkei. What are them? What are them crazy moccasins you're wearing?
Yeah, moccasins. Oh man, that's what I love about old movies. They were so not woke. It's like I love watching stuff where people just didn't care what they said. Yeah, this is great. I am more than happy to suggest that I may have, but won't seriously cop to taking the Robert Gears and Cogs bundle. No one will ever know for sure. Only you will.
Well, I'll say
And
wholeheartedly.
then you'll also know what my home address is. And I mean, I'm a little apprehensive about that because we don't know each other that well.
Well, no, but I know a lot of for me for a lot of the projects that I've backed before too. I think there's always that sort of what's it called, like distance that people tend to have like with the creators.
Oh yeah,
With a lot of the streams that I've gone on, I'd like to hope that I at least make some sort of connection, at least with every backer that backs the book. But as
it makes it more personal. I just don't want you stalking me.
Oh no.
All right. Either of you or your girlfriend.
But you'll be getting updates too on like a lot of the newest pages and even art prints that'll be coming out for the book as well.
That's great. No, I think it's a very worthwhile project, and there are so many of them out there. I mean, what was it? Ethan Van Sciver was just doing Rainbow Brute this morning.
Oh yeah, and that one just completely slammed.
I know. I got on there. I was on there for like 5 minutes. He was already up to 30 grand. I'm like, what magic potion does this dude have? I mean, it's like he's got 8x10 glossies of the head of YouTube sodomizing a lamb in the freight elevator or something like that. Where else does he get all this money from? It's amazing. But I mean, he's a good salesperson, and hopefully we can all learn. We can all learn from that.
Oh yeah, there's always something good to learn from at least every campaign, or at least from every creator on how they're approaching their customers, or how they're approaching even the campaign itself. Because I've seen so many good projects too just completely fall under, and it's sad and it's a shame sometimes to actually see that. But but sometimes you have to roll with the punches and just either keep strolling along, or learn from the mistakes and then just try harder the next time.
Yeah, I know. When I threw the invites out for this, and I just basically, I've got like maybe like 50 followers on Twitter, and half of them are political. But I threw one out to Wenger because I miss him.
Oh yeah, he completely went off the map too. I actually went.
Yeah, and I don't want to sound ingenuous when I say it, but I honestly do, because I'm going through and I'm like at this person, and I'm throwing invitations to at people that I haven't really met or talked to or anything like that. But Wenger is somebody that I actually spent like it's weird. Like super chats are odd because I'm like, am I really so self-involved that I want to pay like $2.99 to make sure that somebody hears me? Well, no, apparently I am, because I'm paying money to have a super chat that can handle more than 3 guests.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I am that self-involved. But seriously, like his stream was a stream that I actually like looked forward to, and I haven't heard it in a while. And it just, while I'm throwing out the invites, I'm like, man, I kind of missed that. He did a couple of things out in, I don't think it was Atlanta. It was around outside some stadium, but it was more of he's a MAGA guy. So it was one of those things, but it was like, it's Wenger. I'm going to find out what's going on. And, I threw my like out and, liked it and whatever, but I kind of miss the old stuff. I wish he'd, come back and, give it another shot. I thought the book would be okay. I just, I didn't, I don't know. I don't like keep going off on it because it's, probably uncomfortable to listen to me talk about it, but we'll move on to another question. Okay, because so clearly,
I will say the only uncomfortable thing I ever saw with Wenger was the stream, the stream when I was on. I wasn't sure if you saw the stream, but I think somebody had sent a super chat and asked him to take off his shirt.
Oh no!
Yeah, and he took off his shirt right on the stream, and I was just a little like, not that I was uncomfortable, but it's just I was a little taken back by it.
Okay, well, No, I won't do it. If he's doing some kind of like an Axl Rose snake dance while he does it, then yeah, that'll get creepy. But if it's just one of those like if he tries to like Hulk the shirt off, I guess it all goes to context.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's just, I think the attractive thing about Wenger is that he has an accent that makes most people think that he's not supposed to be as smart as he is, because he's intelligent. I love where his brain goes,
Mhm.
but if you just stop for a second and have the patience to listen to him get through it, it's worth the wait. And I was kind of surprised at myself that I was into that stream as much as I was, and I hope he does it again, because I thought it was a lot of fun.
I'm sure he'll come back again. Like there's no honestly, for someone like him, and especially from talking to him on his stream, it feels like there's nothing that'll necessarily keep him down forever.
Yeah,
you know?
like just maybe just a regroup.
Yeah, or just like a time off, I guess. That kind of get situated and like maybe like get stuff in order and come back maybe stronger or something.
Okay, Gabby says he's not a creep. I don't know if she's talking about you, because that was 10:16. That might have been a conversation from 4 minutes ago. God knows what I was talking about back then.
Well, I think she means for me, I'm not a creep.
You're not a creep. Oh, that's good. Yeah. Who knows? I mean, if my life gets boring sometimes, maybe we should move on to the next question.
Oh, yeah.
Favorite artists. Your favorite artists and influences. Clearly, device is not connected. Soy Rage. Do I dare? Oh my God, you got to see this. Should I put this in here just for like entertainment purposes?
Yeah, go for it.
Soy Rage, but there's like a weird blonde Donald Trump swoopy hairdo over his. You'll see. You'll know what I'm talking about when I.
Hello. How's everybody doing today?
I don't
Hey,
know.
how's it going?
It could change at any moment.
Oh, well, I saw you guys were talking about campaigns.
Yes. Yeah, we're talking about Robert.
Oh, Robert. Oh, I know this one. It's about that robot in the Wild Wild West.
Yes,
Right.
it is.
Yes. Yes, it is.
I don't have my headphones in. Is there an echo, or is I just want to make sure?
I don't have an echo. Do you have one?
I
Good.
think I had a slight echo, but I think it's good now.
Okay, good. Because
Okay.
I'm too lazy to go get mine.
Did everybody get that? Was that too loud?
Oh, I heard it.
But was it painful?
It was not too painful.
Okay, cool. All right.
Speaking of painful, oh my Lord, all these people in the streams just talking about the same books over and over again, but not this Robert. This looks pretty good.
I like this guy. For now, I like this guy.
Oh, well, thank you.
No, I mean, you have two things out there. You have Soy and Rage right next to each other, and it's like putting ammonia and bleach together. You never know what you're going to get after that.
Yes, that's my gimmick. Yes. Oh,
I like it. I like it.
So
Thank you
how
for
far
adding.
are we-
Thank you for adding your what is it? Your unique individuality to the collective.
well, thank you. How far are we into this, Robert? Have we talked about it for a while?
We can talk about it all night. I think.
Oh.
I think it's a good book. I already backed it. And
You did? Great.
Well, yeah, sure. That's one of the benefits of coming onto my stream. But until I become popular, I will. It's like when your mother pays your friends to play with you.
Well, fantastic.
Yeah.
I just dropped my new campaign we launched last night in the private chat.
What, in this private chat?
Yes. No, in Vicky versus private chat.
Oh, okay.
Of course, this one.
No. I'm seriously. I'm that new to this that I don't know if I would see it or not. I'm seeing the regular comments. I got to get back here. Okay.
Yes, you just got to go click on private chat.
Got
and
it.
then it says my campaign right
all
there.
those little red dots with the numbers in them. I got to start paying attention to those more.
Oh.
All right. We're talking.
Well, I don't want to cut into Robert's time
No.
here.
That's okay. I just want to make sure I got this.
Oh no, everything's good.
Are we talking
All right.
about socks?
What?
Are we talking about socks?
It's a sock account. That's what everybody in Comicsgate has. Now you can have one for real.
All right. I'm gonna. Hold on a second. I'm gonna dump this one screen for a second and bring this other one up. Ready?
Yes. Wait till you read it. It's comedy at its finest.
I hope so.
All right.
Now you can stay anonymous, and your feet can stay warm with the official Trash Compactor Show sock account.
Yes, we have a show called the Trash Compactor. You know that we talk about Comicsgate and Fandom Menace and everything, and we got our own socks now. This is our third campaign.
Your third campaign. What are the others? Every different pair of socks has a new campaign.
No, we have a can koozie that sold. It's the biggest selling can koozie on Indiegogo, and then we also had a "What Would Testify Do" wristband. Do you know who Testify is?
Oh, man, what would Testify do?
Yeah,
Yes, your can koozie down there. What
he would wreck the screens.
This is it. Is that I know that's a slippery when wet, but like
No, that's a caution butt hurt.
Who is it?
It's a caution butt hurt sign because when
Caution
Testify
butt
comes
hurt.
on people's streams, everybody gets butt hurt.
It reminds me of the Circle Jerks logo.
But anyway,
no.
on the campaign, the socks, they're only $12 a sock, and we only charge $5 for shipping.
Keep
It's not a
talking.
bad deal.
Oh yeah, I'll keep talking. So I'll just read out the campaign. It's like,
No.
all right,
Yeah, you keep talking about the campaign. I want to find you on YouTube.
all right. Now you can stay anonymous and your feet can stay warm with the official Trash Compactor Show sock account. So many people in Comicsgate have them, and some people even have multiple. But now you can have one too. These are the only sock accounts that you need that keep your identity hidden and your toes as well. Take all the hassle away from creating multiple emails and remembering all those annoying passwords when you can just slip on a pair of these official Strideline sock accounts. You can order a single sock account, or you can go for the multiple sock account perk and get one along with our highest grossing wristband and can koozie in crowdfunding history. What we need and what you get is your money. And they're a pair of socks, stupid. Okay, the impact. Never again will you fear of being doxxed with these socks. Yes, and the risks and challenges. We take risks online every day, and we here at the Trash Compactor Show want all of you to remain safe on the interwebs and keep the webs between your toes warm too. There's other ways you can help. You can watch the Trash Compactor Show at thatstarwarsguy.com on YouTube. And I do have to say this because we're contractually obligated. Hail K-Log, Hail Zerk, and Jesse Milestone is a beautiful woman. Because Liam Gray struck our channel, so we can't stream on our channel.
Why do I keep hearing about this guy?
Yeah, because he struck us.
Oh, is it because of that video that he made?
Oh, that's not us. We're a different
Ethan
Star
and
Wars
John?
guy. We're a different Star Wars guy. That's not us. Yeah, Liam struck our channel. So, yeah, we can't stream, but we were invited to take over another channel that has 1,400 subscribers. So we're doing our show over there. So every cloud has a silver lining. Yes.
I have so much to learn. I have so much to learn about this stuff.
Oh,
and so little time to do it. But
go to the frequently asked questions because I know you got questions about this.
Well, no, I mean I have questions about this life.
Oh, but just
I don't mean life, the universe, and everything. I just mean this slice of it.
Oh, Comicsgate is something else. But just click on the frequently asked questions because I know you got questions about this.
All right.
It's up on the top. Up on the top.
All right. Thank you. Thanks.
Yes. It's FAQ right there by story.
Gotcha.
Yes. Okay. So ask yourself.
Do I want this?
Yes.
Will they keep my feet warm?
Yes.
Will they keep my identity safe?
No.
Oh, it's odd. I almost feel like because I do suffer from an identity crisis. You can see it up in the corner there.
Yes. Okay, click on the perk. You can get a single sock account,
Right,
or you can get the multiple. Just click on the perk. The perk. That's all bullshit.
I understand. What I'm going to do is open this in a new tab so that people can't see what I'm doing.
Yeah, we just released last night, and we're over halfway funded already.
Okay, so there's a chance I could get my money back.
Yes. We honor refunds.
It's not like one of the shittiest things to say. Okay, wait, I'm not sharing my screen the right way. I need to stop screen. Watch me do this the right way. Application window. I'm going to share that one, but then I'm going to go over to this one. Is this the one that people can see?
Oh, we can see it all. Okay, now we just got to.
No, that's not how it's supposed to go. It's supposed to do this. I'm supposed to click on the application window, but then only get one of these, right?
What are you talking? Oh, you're gonna buy it?
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Yes. You know, these are the best things to give for stocking stuffers, because they're actual socks.
Yeah.
Yes.
But what I was trying to do is to not put it.
Oh yeah, don't show your stuff. Don't show your. You got to stay safe online. That's what the sock accounts are for.
This is what I guess what I meant was like when I moved to the app. Oh, I know what it was.
What?
No, I'm gonna do this right. Hold on a second. Share screen, Brave tab. Okay. I'm gonna go back. Okay. How do I get this perk? And then I'm gonna go. There we go. I got it figured out now.
Yes.
I was doing application window, not Brave tab.
Okay, so there's the single sock account perk. I'll read that for you real quick here. Let me see. All right, I'll go up to it. I'm doing it on my computer. Thinking about joining Comicsgate, but you have cold feet? Well, now you have nothing to fear. Keep those pesky SJWs off your heels by getting a brand new sock account, premium Strideline socks, emblazoned with all your favorite Trash Compactor Show characters using their own sock accounts, and you can stream in style. So you get one pair for $12 and only $5 shipping. And we're undercutting most of the socks that out there that are custom because they all start at like $13.95 and go all the way up to like $20. So you're getting a deal. Go ahead.
On a couple of levels, my wife is always telling me because I was born in the 70s. I grew up in the 80s, and I kept learning about stuff in the 90s. But one of the things that I didn't figure out was that when everybody stopped wearing white socks with their black shoes,
yes,
I didn't, and I still like my white socks. Now the wife. She has all kinds of cool little socks. She's got Disney villainous socks, and she even has some Tupac socks where you can actually tie that rag that he wears on his head.
Yes, it's do-rag.
The do-rag is on the socks, not like part of the pattern. It's like there that you can play with it like a pop-up book.
Excellent.
Yes.
All right.
This is a pretty good idea. Are you watching? Are you watching the?
Well, let me tell you the multiple perk. Before you make a purchase, there is a multiple bundle you can buy. Let me tell you all about that. Okay. So that one is now you can traverse Comicsgate in style with the official Trash Compactor Show complete bundle. You get one of each of all of our campaigns that we put out to date. Keep your feet warm, keep your cans cold, and keep asking yourself, why are you here? This may be the last time you're able to get the whole set of Trash Compactor Show merchandise because this is the last of our stock. You see, we ran 2 previous campaigns and we only printed up a limited amount of each, and the leftover ones keep spilling over into the next one, so I only got 25 can koozies left from the last campaign, so that's why I only put 25 available, but I got a shit ton of these little wristbands left.
Okay.
Yes.
I you know what I like that you I like that you went through that whole spiel, and that you should it's almost like you have one of those signs up that says we'll work for food.
Yes.
Are you watching where it says a 3 out of 25 claimed?
Yes. Look at that.
I know. I'm not going to say that it was me because there's no way that you could know for sure.
No.
I'm not going to lay claim, and in fact, I don't even know why I brought it up.
No, because you got a sock account now, so you could be anybody online.
Exactly. I'm invisible. I've got my LifeLock. I've got my ExpressVPN, and I'm not being paid to say that for freaking
Yes.
sure.
And now you have your own sock account. Look at that, folks.
I
And a
know.
can koozie.
I feel kind of smart.
I
Yes.
feel like I should say something smart.
Oh, yeah. And Dan Fraga has these can koozies. He loves them.
Well, no, I do drink beer, and when I'm feeling a little bit trailer parky, I drink it out of a can.
Well, fantastic.
So that's gonna come in handy.
You
It
can
goes
get your
nicely with
natural
it.
light all nice and cold.
Yeah, man, I really dig your style, man. I subscribed to your channel so I can get more of this in the future.
You subscribed to the wrong one.
No, I didn't. Did
You
I?
sure? Yes, because you just go to www.thatstarwarsguy, and that brings ours up. It's not That Star Wars Guy channel.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is it? It's a really good thing that you were here.
Yes. Yes, because we're the Trash Compactor Show, it's called. Yes.
Well, all right. Well, I think that was it, wasn't it?
You sure? Because you had some other guy with a icon that I didn't recognize.
I did.
Yeah. You were showing a channel that
Okay.
there's like 5 people that are calling themselves That Star Wars Guy
How
on
many
YouTube.
Star Wars girls are there? Is it just Anna?
No, there's a couple of those too.
Really?
Yes.
You think they'd have some sort of like
Like an easier way to find it.
copyright thing in there, like you can.
Well,
only
that's why you got to buy the URL. We bought the website,
Right.
www.starwarsguy.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna make sure I get there.
Yes, we're the Trash Compactor Show. We can't stream right now because of the strike. So in about maybe like 6 more days, YouTube will review it and release it because it's false.
Because of the thing that Liam threw at you.
Yes, he
Oh.
struck me, Mike, and Nasser all on the same day.
Is that what I was watching today? Because that dude looked extra ginger. His contrast levels were all kind of weird.
Yeah, the Orange Dragon. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
See that I'm learning. It's the kind of stuff that I don't necessarily want to know about because it's like that. It's like that weird stuff that just like sucks you in.
It's drama.
Yeah. But,
Yes.
but at the same time, how are you supposed to handle your shit when somebody out there is messing with it all the time?
Yeah,
All you have to do is say, hey, they're talking about me, and they shut you down.
Yeah, you can't stop watching. It's like a soap opera, is what it is.
Yeah, well, exactly. All right. I wasn't really looking to be involved in all that stuff, but I guess it all. You're going to get it everywhere. Is this you?
No, that's the Star Wars guys. That Star Wars guy. That.
Oh my god.
That StarWarsGuy.com.
Oh my gosh. All right.
It should go right to our YouTube.
I just hope that one of these days that we can all look back on this and laugh.
Oh, we try to laugh. That's what our show is. It's all comedy. That's why we do these little campaigns, because they're funny. We don't make anything from them. We just it's like a real life meme.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, okay. What does your the trash compactor? There it is.
Yes. You know what that's from, right? That's from Star Wars when they're in the trash compactor.
Yes. When you have to explain, do you know what the trash compactor is? You're either talking to somebody who's way younger than you or way older than you.
Yes.
When I was a kid, there was a couple of things. How you talk with your friends and you try to like compete. All right, this is you, right?
Yes.
Here. All right.
Let's see. Yes, that's us.
All right.
Look, I unboxed a box of Mandalorian cards. Mandalorian. Yes. See, we do a play on words. It's all comedy.
Yeah. I think I threw one of those out there just the other day. It's kind of a dad joke, and I think
Yes.
I actually spent money to get Shane Davis to say it out loud.
Yes.
What kind of armor does a Mandalorian wear?
Oh man, I gotta use that.
Well, you can have the whole thing if you want.
Oh.
What kind of armor does a Mandalorian wear?
What kind?
Breast car.
Breast car. I love it.
Yeah, I had a picture to go with it and everything. I'm gonna have to find you on Soy Rage. I'm gonna have to find you on Twitter.
I'm on Twitter, yes. And then my sock account is at Moran Marshall. That's my real. See, I'm a character. In case you didn't know.
No, I'm getting there.
Yes.
I don't know. Boogie Bot's watching me try to follow this ping pong game on steroids. And no, worse than that, a ping pong game on Coke. I'm like, this monitor, that monitor, this monitor, that monitor.
Oh, you got multiple
It's
monitors.
like everywhere.
Well, yeah, because it's what comes with upgrading your computer only.
Oh,
And there's, I need a. I had a shop in a custom paint shop in Oakdale that I had to move out of. So whenever I moved in, I was like, well, I need a computer over there. And then when I moved out, I had this Mac Mini that didn't do crap and an extra monitor. So now I've got these two. And there's, you see that one?
yes.
There's another Mac back there that runs my vinyl cutter right there.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's like a whole bat cave down here.
So you make your own stickers for cars and stuff, right?
Well, it's a 24-inch one. I just use it for complicated masks. I do a lot of airbrush and pinstripe, but I'm trying to move into this other space here. And talking with guys like yourself and BoogieBot are a huge help because, it's I'm a stranger in a strange land for the most part.
Yes. You know how I found you?
Probably Twitter.
Yes, I was searching Comicsgate to see all the new stuff on the hashtag, and your stream came up. I was like, "Who's this?"
People
and I just jumped right in.
How about that? Well, I'm not as boisterous as you are. I don't know why you're not doing your own stream. Or
well, we can't because we're struck.
I gotta get in.
Yes.
Just never mind.
I wish we could stream. To be quite honest, ID Crisis.
Moving so fast.
Yes.
Yeah, this is going to be what happens. I'm going to get off of this. I'm going to get on my phone. I'm going to get on YouTube. I'm going to see what you're doing. Yes. But there is a point where, at a couple of times, where I've asked myself, why do I have? I've got Disney Plus so I can watch The Mandalorian. Other than that, what am I supposed to do? I'm going to watch Captain Marvel so I can see what everybody hates about it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I've still never seen it.
It's not that
bother.
bad. It's not.
There's something. It's really it is true what they say, especially the part where they're sitting at where Nick Fury and she are sitting in the bar, and she just decides to blow up somebody's jukebox to prove that she is who she says she is. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't do that to somebody that I casually dislike. Those things are expensive.
Yes.
And especially if you're going to make Civil War, the entire crux of the whole thing is about the amount of damage that these people do when they really start doing their job. Then you're just gonna like snap your fingers and kill somebody's jukebox and then walk away like it's no big deal. Oh, he's insured. No wonder we have all these businesses burning down. They do it.
But you know what, ID Crisis? But you know what? Wes Craven said it best when he was talking about his Last House on the Left. It's only a movie. It's only a movie. Yeah. It's only a movie.
It is only a movie, except for the Last House on the Left.
So some of these people get so caught up in all this nonsense. It's only a movie.
Yeah. It's and on one hand it's only a movie, on the other hand it is people saying things because movies are somehow on some level how we communicate.
Yeah.
In fact,
and it's also it's also like ideas and everything that like everybody's gonna end up finding out and like approaching in a specific way, because again, like that's why some people say like, oh, it's damaging for this and this, but most of the people, I guarantee you, that like want a sort of message like that aren't going to be the type of people that are going to be paying for it. That's why a lot of like leftist sort of like books, like Captain Marvel and a lot of like Marvel and DC books now aren't really selling because those aren't the types of people that are actually buying that product anyways.
But don't you think maybe they're doing that is because they want different people to start buying their stuff?
I think,
Yeah,
well,
I
to
do,
a
but I
degree,
don't know
yeah.
if you can force someone to be interested in something that they weren't before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're just trying something different. They're trying marketing, and if it doesn't work for them, they'll see, But if it does, somebody's got to be buying them because they're keeping doing it. If they made no money, they wouldn't be doing it. But they obviously are making some sort of money.
Are they? Because it seems like they're firing a lot of people.
Yeah, but it's
No, you know what I mean. Like if
yeah,
if it's a solvent business model, then AT&T wouldn't be trying to sell them.
yeah. But
True.
times are changing. We
Well,
all gotta we all gotta evolve.
Well, yeah. I mean, there is something to be said for adaptation, and using the technology that we have at hand and doing things yourself, and working with the with Indiegogo and doing your own book. But I don't know. If it's not if the product that you're making is so abysmal that you're that you have to actually tell people that they can't work in it anymore. It's sort of like it seems to me it's like one of those watering holes where there's only room for 5 wildebeest when it used to have accommodate 60 of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but think of it this way though. Remember back in the 50s, if you were a certain person, you couldn't work somewhere or you couldn't be somewhere, you couldn't drink out of the same water fountain. This is kind of
Yeah.
what's happening right now. If
I
you
get
don't
that.
think about one way, you're ostracized, you're shunned. So it's just history repeating itself in a way if you look at it like that.
Yeah, no, I understand what you mean there. It feels like it's that it's history. If it's history repeating itself, or it's the history repeating itself more in the way that your food repeats on you when it's too spicy.
Yes. Yes.
I could see it that way.
Yes. No matter what, it gives you heartburn. Yes.
Well, because I mean, I was reading some articles earlier from and I got my Feedly up here before, which I find this to be interesting. Hannibal, the Hannibal show. Mads Mikkelsen wants Michael Pitt as Buffalo Bill.
Wow.
That's a show that I really super dig, but that just happened to come up on my screen ahead of time. The thing that makes me wonder what everybody is thinking is this, and I know it's here somewhere. I was just talking about it. It's right here. Give me 1 second. Blah blah blah. Batman. Yada yada. Justice League. Doctor Strange. What was it? Oh, it was a what was the some video game. It was a Destiny, a couple of the characters, and some off storyline. People are wondering if they're gay or not, and there's no way that you guys know what I'm talking about because the article went away. It just went away. So you got to learn how to use Feedly too.
Oh, well, yeah, everybody's learning. This is
Oh
all
yeah,
new.
well, I get, but the point of it was, and actually, it didn't have anything to do with anybody's sexual orientation. The question was, why does that matter to somebody who's spending $60 to play a video game? What they were trying to do is point and shoot and accomplish a mission.
That's true.
Okay, and I'll even go the other way. If we assume that whoever these characters are straight as an arrow or whatever, or from another planet, I mean, really, isn't that the point of so many science fiction stories? Is you're from another planet, but you're just like me. You look different, but we have these things in common.
Mhm.
This is the stuff that we're supposed to be learning from these stories, but what we end up getting more and more increasingly is, I want to find out the thing that's different about you that isn't like me so they can fight with you over it.
Yes.
That's not the kind of work that you're supposed to be like working to put a wedge in between people instead of, working to bring people together. And some of that stuff, and I know that we even recognize it in our own family, especially around Thanksgiving, is if everybody could just shut up and enjoy the meal.
Yes. A lot of people need to shut up.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, and I know my wife would like me to shut up.
Yes.
But most of the time, I do all my talking because everybody else is talking and they won't shut up. Like, I don't want to know.
Speaking of which, my wife Kevin's begging me to shut up right now, so I want to say thank you for letting me on and show my stuff, and everybody go back Robert the robot. It's Wild Wild West.
So
that means a lot.
Soy Rage, do you have 1 minute and 30 seconds left?
Yes.
Okay. I want to show you a little video that I made when I was waiting for my writer to get back to me.
Okay, I can't wait to see it.
All right. You guys familiar with this movie?
Oh, is that Audition?
Yeah.
Yes. Go!
青いもんです。
はい、よかった。もう電話がないのかと思いました。
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
I actually bought I need to learn how to work Premiere better.
Oh, that's a good start.
Yeah, well, and it's not like I don't have some chops and like some other video applications and stuff. But if we're gonna promote these things, then we got to be able to do this work. But
yes,
I really appreciate you stopping in, man. And
it was a pleasure.
I can't wait for my socks.
All right, you'll get them
by Christmas.
Hope no.
Okay. No pressure.
Nope. You'll be getting them. We said February, but we'll probably have them. I'll be having them in hand this month, or in December. So we'll be shipping them out in January.
So Valentine's Day.
Oh, you'll be getting them before that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Sounds good.
Yeah, because our campaign runs for a month, so we'll be done at the end of December, and I'll be shipping them the first week of January.
That's great.
Yes.
I can't wait.
Zero wait time.
Zero wait time when they show up at your place.
Yes. All right. Bye. Bye, Boogie Bot. Bye, ID Crisis.
Thanks, man. Take it easy.
Bye.
That was. You never know what to expect. I guess that's the lesson from tonight. You never know what to expect,
especially for like open stream.
Well, yeah. I was expecting maybe like last week I got like one guy, and we talked for a while, and this has been going on for like about 2 hours. I would love to. All right, so we got your. We got your book back. All right, so there's just another couple of questions that I have about you in particular, and they're not very intrusive. Okay, but one of them is what was your first comic?
My first comic, the one that I can remember was my dad. He actually took us to a comic book shop, and the comic shop that we went to, it was kind of like a local one, and I didn't really know much about comics. I've seen a lot of like cartoons and everything, like Spider-Man, Iron Man, like some of the Avengers cartoons, but I only like knew them on like kind of like the base level and how they looked.
Mm-hmm.
And when we went to the comic shop, I ended up getting the complete run of I believe the Extremist Iron Man from I think like from Warren Ellis and Adi Granoff, the artist. So that's like the earliest I can remember for like actually getting like a comic series.
Is that this one right here?
Yeah, that's what I specifically remembered like actually growing up on, like from that was like the first set of comics that I remembered actually getting and reading.
This how long was the run?
It was only like 6 issues. So as a kid, like it felt like a nice, good like read, just like and it was the floppies too. So I grew up on like the actual like floppies for them, you know.
That's cool. I know my first comic was, I believe it was a Daredevil.
Was it the Man Without Fear, or was it a?
No, I mean it was a Daredevil. I mean, yeah, the Man Without Fear, Daredevil 1/3. I always mess this up. I need to have it written down. I do have it written down somewhere, but it's him versus Bullseye in the circus.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird because Bullseye manages to throw a rosin bag in his face. He's like, "Oh, I have this rosin. I can't breathe." I'm like, he threw something with chalk in it at your face. It's a mild distraction at best. Let's not get over dramatic, Matt Murdock. But it was the way that they portrayed him going from point A to point B with all those little pink daredevils in the middle. And it was fascinating to me that somebody had the command over a human figure to the extent that they could twist it and turn it in any direction they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that they were doing it with a model standing there, like, all right, move like this. All right, draw that. All right, move like this. I can't hold that pose.
Like move one inch this way, move your arm this way, pose this.
Well, if you've seen them, like, I don't even know if they do it in every Daredevil comic, but it's inside the same panel. There's the red Daredevil here and red Daredevil here. Or even like when he throws his billy club, you'll see it bounce off this, and then hit that guy in the head, and that knocks him out.
Oh, like they kind of show like the motion of them. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because there's like a lot of comic books that end up doing that too. I know with the I forgot what it was. I think like in the Kick-Ass comics they did that too.
Oh, yeah, okay. And that's one of the ones, basically. I know that's going to be a homework assignment one of these days. But we do have homework assignments for me. I don't expect my guests to do homework assignments. Do you have a favorite comic?
A favorite comic? Well, I will say I actually like the Punk Rock Jesus. That's one from Sean Gordon Murphy. I bought the trade for that about a year or two ago, and so far right now that's been one of my more favorite reads, to actually kind of like go back and see the artwork as well as just to kind of read it,
Is that mostly?
And it's actually a really fun read.
Is it story and more of a story-driven attraction for you, or the art?
It's kind of in between, because Sean Gordon Murphy, I'm actually very, very heavily inspired by a lot of his work, but also by a lot of Frank Miller with a lot of like the harsh blacks and whites.
I know. He's got such a good command over the space, and wow, this is really cool. This is probably gonna be my homework.
For the Punk Rock Seasons?
Yeah, this is it might not be. It's going to be up to you. This is the thing that I'm trying to do to separate my stream from others. It is the comic artist evolution, which means that it's up to me. One of the reasons why I'm doing this is so that I can, grow into. Do we hear an echo?
A slight echo, yes.
Hear one from me?
I think so. I think whenever I speak, I can kind of hear myself coming through.
Okay, that shouldn't be because you're on headphones. You're not coming through a speaker. But if it's really bad, sometimes this happens with Jimmy when I'm in Jimmy's. Like I'll have to like leave and then come back. But if I leave, you'll still be there, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm still here now. Yeah, because.
Is that better?
Yeah. Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think it was having that kind of crackling thing at the beginning.
Oh, the crackling thing? I think it might actually have something to do with the wiring in this house. No lie.
There we go. Yeah,
That's
it's working
better?
good now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might have something to do with the wiring in this house. I'm not sure. Who knows? Yeah. Okay. If you can hear me, then that's great. No, I love this work. And then this is an independent punk rock Jesus. Is how many issues long?
They actually have a trade paperback of it. I think it's like 6 or 7 issues long.
Okay.
It wasn't that long of a run, but they do have a lot of like the collective like trades for them.
Yeah. Well, one of the reasons why I want the homework is because I hear a lot in Comicsgate about, and it's not necessarily competition between comic book stores and the big three or two or whoever, and independent comics. But for myself, it's going to be an educational experience.
Mhm.
I've been out of comic books for like a long time. I mean, like literally a lifetime. I've like raised my kids. I've had my comics, and I've had them organized, and I've had them in the box because I know that they're worth something. But I also that's the best way to put it. I'm trying to. It's something that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to be more into it but I always felt like it was the kind of money that I should be spending on a gas bill, or a grocery bill, or something like that. But these days I've got 3 kids. 2 of them are out of the house and fending for themselves, and I find myself with extra money. And if I'm going to invest it in something that's going to be a money in situation, then why not have fun with it? And why not make it something that I've always wanted to do, and can meet new people like yourself, and have a nice time doing it.
Oh yeah, and that's always a good way to meet new people too, as well as just to get like you always get like a new perspective on like writing as well, just because of all these new ideas coming from like a lot of these like independent projects.
Right. Yeah. Right. And but I also know that I don't have the time to do everything, so that's going to force me into a situation where I can talk to a writer and talk to maybe a colorist down the road. It depends on what I've got time to do.
Mhm.
And then while I'm doing the stream, I can well, you've got this book that you're trying to put out, and when it's done, or if you're in between projects, like I really like the way that you do your colors, maybe you should do my colors. And perhaps like as an example,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to corral you.
Not signing any deals.
Yeah, right. Yeah, in blood. But do you have is there anything that you've read that you absolutely detest, or like the it doesn't even have to be a comic book. It could be like the last movie that I went to, that it was worth it. It was more worth it to spend the money on the popcorn and the pop than it was on the ticket.
I can remember. I think. Do you remember that movie Piranha 3D?
Oh, no, is that the one with the kid from Sliders?
I think so. Yeah, where it was like it had like Doc Brown. I think it had Christopher Lloyd as the scientist who like uncovers the piranhas, as in like I guess like a bunch of like college kids go on spring break and then they end up getting eaten alive by like all the piranhas and everything.
Yeah, I know that there was a spring break. Spring break. I'm probably spelling piranha wrong too. Spring break aspect to it. Ugh.
Like that's probably the worst movie that I've seen, but only because my father wanted to see something in the movie theater, where like he always has this sort of thing where he just wants to sit down in a cold theater with popcorn and a drink and just like tune out for like a couple of hours,
Yeah.
And that was the only movie that was really playing at the time, and we kind of got dragged along to see that.
Okay, so I am spelling it wrong. There's only one N in piranha. I'm like looking on IMDb, and then like my whole web browser is doing some weird blinky stuff. I need to get a here. Oh my god, I'm just like spelling things out loud.
But I think in terms of like comics,
2010. I think this is the one with what the hell is his name? Yeah, Christopher Lloyd, Jerry O'Connell. Yeah, I did watch that. And I guess I took it for what it was, which was at some point somebody's going to get their junk chewed off.
and it does happen.
Him. It was Jerry O'Connell. It was the fat kid from Stand By Me. You saw that, right?
Yeah, the part when he gets the Stand By Me or
Stand By Me. Well, he's the kid from Stand By Me, and then he like really leaned out, and he was in like Sliders and some other stuff. But yeah, Jerry O'Connell. He's the one that they pull out of the water, and it's just his legs.
yeah, like it's like all chewed up and everything.
Yeah. It's just like bones with not a lot of meat on them. Yeah. Over the top, of course. But Eli Roth is a huge horror movie guy, and he's in it. Yeah, I think that he produced Cabin Fever. He was the dude with the baseball bat in Inglourious Bastards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was. And Green Inferno. Oh my God, that's a good movie. Sorry, I'm going off on an tangent. So that's the movie that, and I'm sitting there like the worst movie I ever saw was Piranha 3D. Man, I love some of the people in this movie. It was freaking awesome. What are you talking about? All right. So when you're working, we talked about before that you go back and forth between traditional and digital.
Yeah, correct.
Or you basically just use the strengths of one and the other.
I kind of use the strengths of digital for my the strengths of digital for my traditional, just because I feel like for me at least it kind of gives me a little sense of like stability. Because in digital, I feel like I know like, oh, if I mess something up, I can always just easily erase it. But in traditional, I have to make sure that all of my lines are either very precise or I have to go back over it somehow with the whiteout or erase it or just completely start over. So I feel like after working so much in digital, whenever I go into traditional, I always have that mentality where it's just every stroke of the pen or like the brush that I put on the page, that's it. It's one and done sort of thing for every line. So I think that kind of gives me more of a, I guess a little bit like again like a little bit more of like a stability sort of like sense where on paper I know every line I have to make it count. You know.
Yes. Yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean. I'm going to get into this one. Okay. I was talking about this one the other night, and this is a character that this is the one that where I'm waiting for my for my. I'm not waiting for my writer to get back to me. He got back to me, but there's more talking to do, and I'm very excited. But he's entertaining family tonight, so I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, I just threw it out there. I'm going to throw out a stream. People can show up. They can show up, and that's great. I'm very happy that that he's gotten back to me. But this character here, I was doing it digitally. His whole left leg, I had to erase and reposition because the way his foot was pointed wasn't doing what was supposed to do, and I had to do that in a couple of different areas.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole time I was working on this on the iPad, I was thinking to myself how I would have had to get another piece of Bristol board at this point. You know what I mean? Because I had like erased it and then worked on it again and erased it and worked on. It would have been a smear of light blue with like 3 different legs on it that you could see, like, you know, where I had tried again and again and again. So I like totally get that. And then I spent so much time working on that drawing, and then the next day let me see if I think no, it was in a Photoshop file, but I was working in my sketchbook just doing some stuff, and it was this just a couple of figures. It was this figure, this character, over maybe the course of like a couple of hours each night, penciling in one. And then I wanted to do this. Now, if you can see, and I kind of went over this in the beginning of the stream while I was just talking to no one, that those characters are about like this big.
Mm-hmm.
You can see like in scale to like my finger, because I wanted to see how much detail I could squeeze out on a sketchbook. And I know this is the wrong paper. It probably soaks up way too much ink. But I kept doing this to the page.
Yeah, like the zooming in and out.
Yes. Yeah, and every time I did it, I was like, oh that's not, no. So and on one hand, I'm like, thank God this technology exists. But then on the other hand, and I read a lot of, or I have in the past, a lot of, what do they call it? Post-apocalyptic fiction.
Yeah.
It was, like this is what happens if an EMP strikes or the economy collapses or something like that. So I'm always like, yeah, this is great. This is an iPad. But one of these days, it's just going to stop working. So I should probably figure out how to do this shit on paper.
Yeah, that always runs through my head too.
Does it really? At 23,
Yeah.
this runs through your head?
Well, yeah, because
It can't last forever. It can't last forever.
Well, because for someone like me who wants to make some sort of living. Oh, I can hear that echo. I can hear that echo again.
From you or from me?
I think from me.
Okay, let's see what happens.
Hello?
It might be my computer.
I think we have to give it a minute because the stuttering kind of comes back.
Yeah, it's got to be the processor. One of these days, I'll get a better Mac.
There we go.
Yeah.
So sometimes that does run through my head, just because like for someone like me who wants to make a living out of like selling my artwork and like comic books, sometimes it does kind of make me wonder, like, well, if just technologies just kind of cease to exist, like how do I go from there? Because I have a full-time job myself right now, and obviously
preach.
And then obviously right now, like I'm mostly wanting to do like the comic stuff, like that I can only do on the side, like during my spare time to actually be able to produce the book and everything. But I always kind of wonder like how, like, and especially in my book, it deals with Y3K. So what if?
Yeah, I mean, how old were you?
Goes away.
If you're 23, then you would have been 3.
Yeah.
Now, I wonder if that's just some sort of attention that you picked up on in the house. Because I always thought it would have been a really good practical joke to be like, whatever bar we're in 1999 at midnight, we need to find out where the fuse box is so we can just throw the main switch whenever midnight hits and watch everybody in the bar just lose their shit.
I'm sure a lot of people did that, especially like at the places that they were living, or even like in their own homes. Or I'm sure there had to have been some rioting that happened, because somebody thought that the world was going to end.
Just go outside and look. The lights are still on. Just go outside and look. Everything's fine. Oh my goodness. We went over your tools in your current project or campaign. That should be the first question. I literally have them like written on the wall over here. That little white piece of paper. I need to reorganize those so that last question is the first question. Because the last question is your current project or campaign. And we've been talking about it for except for when Soy Rage was here. Which was that was kind of fun.
It was interesting.
Yeah, it was. I mean, and I have tomorrow off. I might try doing this tomorrow, and maybe Julius is the guy who is going to be working with me on my book. Possibly, I'm not holding him to anything. It's one of those like initial things. Like, all right, this is my idea. He's like, this is my thoughts. I'm like, these are my thoughts about your thoughts. And then there's this video that I made about waiting for you to get back to me. That could be a deal breaker.
Or it could be the thing that says, okay, I'm doing it.
Well, yeah. I mean, because, if it's not, and it's, I think I was talking about this before you came on, that there's a section, there's a line that the guy that plays Kingpin's dad, he plays Herc in The Wire. If you've never seen The Wire, you are seriously missing out. It's one of the best shows ever, super underrated, but it takes some patience. I'm going to stop evangelizing about that. The guy that plays this character, he says that all the time. It's like not all the time, but it's his go-to line. You got to put yourself out there. You got to put yourself out there, and that's you can't make it you can't make your way in the world unless you put yourself out there, which is in my mind, it's just like forgiving yourself for all of the flaws that that you have, and just letting other people deal with them however they're going to deal with them if they feel like it, and if they don't, well then fine, and that's okay too. But you've got to put yourself out there, and that's basically what all this is. I mean, you put yourself into your book and you put it out there. I'm glad that you had the balls to come onto this stream. I've been onto it for like maybe I've been onto it for like 2.5 hours, and I do seriously appreciate your showing up.
Oh yeah, it's no problem. And honestly, it's fun to kind of be on a stream where it's just kind of one-on-one talking and just kind of getting into comics or just life in general.
Yeah, and man, it's too bad that Soy took off earlier than I could really drill into what he thought about things, because he said some stuff that was like, not that I don't necessarily disagree with it, but I really wanted to hear how he works some of his stuff out in his own head.
Mm-hmm.
Like, some people are going to disagree on things like, oh, I do not agree that we should be putting sugar into our spaghetti sauce. That's not how you do it. I don't care what that fat guy in The Godfather says. You don't put sugar in the spaghetti sauce. That ruins it. Potatoes, yes. You put potatoes to soak up some of the grease, and then you take the potatoes out and you throw them in the garlic. Everybody's got their own recipe on stuff like that, but on like the recipe that makes up how to live, mm-hmm. that's always an interesting one. Now, do we get any of those lessons, recipes on how to live from reading Robert?
We actually do get a little bit of that sort of kind of like, because part of it is part of the mentality that I kind of brought into the book was a lot of the characters, they kind of gain some sort of perspective on kind of who they are and kind of what their personalities are. Again, because they read like all these different forms of media that we kind of get our personalities off of. But in a way, in this post-apocalyptic future, everybody kind of reverts back to almost sort of almost Victorian or 1800s style kind of dressing and barter system. So in a way, it's kind of like life repeating itself.
Yeah. No, I like that. And I like the can't see my arrow on there, but I like the wings that you have on your blimp.
Yeah, and a lot of that's a sort of steampunk aesthetic in there.
Yeah, well, I would even go it's a steampunk thing, but it's also it looks like more like a Da Vinci parchment would have thought of. You would have seen it there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really cool. No, I like the work that you're doing with the vehicles too. Sometimes there's aspects where people can get lazy with certain areas of drawing, and it does not look like you've done that. Like this here with this cactus, it's got this sprout on top.
Mm-hmm.
Does that actually happen?
Like for the sprout on top of it, yeah. For there's some cactuses, especially
I don't know. I'm not from there, so.
Because the main part of the story at the beginning takes place in Las Vegas, and there's a lot of different cacti, or at least cactus that actually does have the sprouts that kind of come out.
Huh. See, that's something I never knew before. And is that where you're from? Does it say here, or does it even say Dallas? From Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
How's life in Dallas these days?
It's pretty good. Nothing really out of the ordinary kind of happening. I'm sorry?
You watching any football?
For football, my dad does, not me.
Yeah. I've been avoiding it myself, but the Steelers are undefeated right now. I think they were the last time I checked, which was 2 weeks ago.
I know for the Cowboys, they've been having a lot of injuries, at least from what my dad has been telling me.
Yeah. Wasn't it? Didn't your quarterback have some sort of a like one of those grotesque injuries that you don't want to see on TV ever again?
So I think the quarterback, I think he snapped his ankle.
That's it, Dak Shepard.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then somebody else got like a major concussion, I think like the week after. I think the person that was the quarterback that was supposed to go in place of him, and then somebody else I think got the bug, like the whole
Oh, yeah.
virus, and then so it's kind of been one thing after another
Yeah.
for that
Yeah.
team.
I got to tell you, as far as the virus goes, one of the things that I really am upset that I missed out on was Pandemic. Did you manage to see any of that? Get that book?
Oh yeah, I actually got a copy of it. I backed it very late in the game, but I actually ended up getting my copy of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's like trying to back all the books that you want to back is like spinning plates. You
Yeah,
hope
'cause-
that this one, how it's, I mean, for me, it's hard to, keep track of what's going to end here. How long is this one going to be going on? It's almost like you need a program, where you can just like, keep just a program that will keep track of, set an alarm up. This one's going to end in 3 days. This one's going in demand, you can be like, all right. No, this chunk of money is going to go to this book, and this chunk of money is going to go to this book. The best I can do is to have this here stream, so that if you actually come on the stream, chances are I'm going to back your book.
and I really appreciate that. Again, being able to come on and everything.
Oh yeah, well, I'm just looking for a gimmick. I don't know that that's going to last forever. Well, who knows? I mean, if I become rich and famous, then we'll see what happens. But I am excited. You got 19 days left. You got 42 backers so far. I'm gonna most of the stuff that I have on Facebook is geared towards custom paint, but I don't have a problem at all sharing it to like personal pages and out to friends and stuff like that. I know my sister's into comic books. In fact, that one of the reasons why I backed your Gears and Cogs bundle was so that, I mean, if I actually backed it. One of the reasons why I maybe backed Gears and Cogs bundle was so that I could send something to my sister. I keep asking her, I'm like, hey, are you following this? She's into comic books. Like, she would send me stuff in the mail. Like, have you read this? Have you read this? And I kind of want to like do the same thing. Are you paying attention to what's going on in comics? They're killing the industry. They're firing people and all this and all that. And I haven't heard anything from her because I think she's, fallen off the left side of the planet. And that's why she doesn't want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think, but I could be wrong. All right, so this is the very last thing. Homework. I get homework, and this is so that I can support my local comic book shop that I like, who is not Comicsgate, but that doesn't matter because I think that support should happen all over the place. So I support some local comic book shops, support the independent comic book scene. So what I do is you tell me the absolute, and if I don't have it, I go get it, the absolute most essential comic that was ever printed that I need to read, but it's got to be a special and personal to you.
I would say, have you heard or seen the work of Wallace Wood by chance?
Not by name, but that's why we're doing this. What's the book?
So he has actually a couple of kind of hardcover books, or just if you can find them for like the trade paperbacks.
Okay.
They're called well, it's mostly his own self-titled work from, I forgot the company. It's from like Fantagraphics books, and the one I'm specifically talking about is it's called Spawn of Mars from Wallace Wood.
Wow. Okay. Now, I mean, is this a run or, like you said, a trade paperback where it's individual or it's a collection?
Yeah, so like he actually has a lot of his own kind of like hardcover books that he has like multiple stories that he's worked with
Okay.
different artists. But the one that I picked up, um, even more so recently, it's called Spawn of Mars, and that one is
Okay.
mostly his own written work along with his artwork in there.
Is this a hardcover book that is a black and white illustration down the middle with red borders on either side?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So now I know what to look for. Now, first place I'm going to go and look for it is at Pittsburgh Comics in McMurray, which is close to me. And if they don't have it, then I'll look for it on eBay, and I'll chip away at it because it looks like there's a lot of stuff in there.
Should I give you a second option, I guess, for a book if you can't find the first
Well,
one?
I you figure it's like somebody that's really into music. They don't just listen to like one band.
Yeah.
But yeah, second option might not be too bad.
Second one I would say would be Descent. I think it's called Descendant.
All right, let me get this in the notes here.
Or, well, actually, my bad. It's actually called Descender from Jeff Lemire.
DECEND. You know what? If I put it in the computer, then it'll tell me that if I'm spelling it wrong. Yes. Descender by who is it?
Jeff Lemire.
GEOFF or JEFF?
GEFF and then LEMIRE. And it's a very beautiful book. All the illustrations in the book were actually done on actual watercolor paper, and it's actually all done in like with the watercolor style.
That looks very cool. It's an image book.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, but if I actually run into it,
I highly recommend it for the Descender as well as the Wallace Wood book.
Yeah, Wallace Wood and Descender. Yeah, because last week my my homework was TMNT #1. Only because it was one of the things. I would have to get into a little bit more of like my own like personal growing up and how I got into comics and then out of comics and then just now like recently getting back into it. But it's a big tangent and it's 11:30 and probably save that for like like later when there's like 5 or 6 people in the there when there's enough people in the chat that they can make fun of me for the choices that I've made in life.
Like the kind of bounce ideas off of, or
yeah,
at least
right.
Kind of like...
Well, yeah. But I think that I mean, if this works every week, then that's great. And not only am I happy that you showed up, I'm happy that you stuck around for as long as you did. I'm not usually one to be super concise with stuff, and I always take the long way home whenever I'm telling a story. So I do appreciate you stopping in.
Oh, it's no problem at all, and obviously I love enjoying. Like I actually love enjoying to actually hear people's stories, and just pretty much every day.
Well, I'm going to try to do this every week, and I'm going to try to work on the best way to get the invite out. I'm just putting a whole bunch of ats. I mean, if there was like, throw this invite out to everybody out there, like how you work Twitter, like a pro. Eventually, I'll figure out what that is. But until then, I'm just going to have to go through and separate. These are the people that agree with me politically. These are the people that are into comic books. And then there's that center of the Venn diagram where there's both.
Like the middle section where people meet.
Yeah, it's almost a circle, but not quite.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's the people that agree with me politically and are into comic books, and then there's the people that aren't into comic books. And there's that's the 3%. But BoogieBot, baby, thank you very much for showing up. I'm gonna wrap it. and go see what I can do, and get my pencils going and sit down on the couch and put on a movie that I've seen before and do some drawing and something like that.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
And I'll be possibly going to sleep soon for work in the morning.
Oh man, yeah. Go to bed. I'm off tomorrow, so I'm off tomorrow, which means I don't go to work at 4 p.m. So
Well, that's good. The day off is good.
yeah. I get to spend time with my wife. It'll be wonderful. Something that doesn't happen very often, but I can't wait for the book. I'm very excited. I think you're extremely talented, and at 23, you give me a lot of hope for the future.
Well, again, I really appreciate that, and I really appreciate you maybe backing the book, maybe not backing the
Yeah,
book.
you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Really. And who can say? Who can say or dares to dream? Yeah, who knows if I'm going to back that book that I'm eventually going to send to my sister, one of those copies, so she can get on board with this coolness here. But yeah, I thanks again for coming on, and we won't draw the goodbye out. I think you're a fine young cannibal, and you should keep up the good work. And I look forward to the book and anything else that you're doing in the future.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. Go hang out with your significant other and tell her I said thank you for letting me borrow you for this long.
I'll tell her.
All right, thanks, man. We'll talk to you later.
All right, have a good one.
All right, you too.